to.
Thank you very much.
And back on his old patch is that man, George North. Northampton league tries. Well, he's the man. Champions of Europe 16 years ago now. And as a club, they're incredibly proud of that achievement. And it will always mean to the Saints that they're a European team with cup final aspirations season after season. 2011, the last time they actually made it to the final. Not too far from here in Cardiff. Early touch, early kick for young Kessel. I'll say young, he's been around a little bit in the English Championship. 25 years of age now.
Premiership young.
And certainly Champions Cup young. It's very much a new experience starting in this competition with club captain Lee Dixon on the bench. There's George North. A couple of seasons now with the Saints since he left the Scarlets. Of course, the Scarlets, we used to say similar things about them being a European business end team. It's been a while, though. Hopefully we'll pull them back for the knock-on. But they do want to finish the season well in the Pro 12 and not lose any momentum at the end of this pool.
George North, he's found it very hard at Northampton this season. The back line has misfired inside him. He'd be pretty grateful for the fact that the first kick from the Scarlets is straight down his throat and it gives him a chance to charge upfield. Early touch, through a couple of tackles. He hasn't been at his best this season, but when your back line is misfiring as the Saints has, it just makes life so difficult. And there you can see, prolific last season in Europe, just incapable of crossing the try line, but what he'd give to score here at his old club.
Struggled 4 tries in general, not just North, just 8 I think in the competition up to this point, but they are not struggling at the scrum there. That's a very strong start from the Northampton 8. Of course, right up front it includes Paul Hill, being talked about now in England full international terms, having made his mark and his name as an under-20 international.
Here's what Stephen Myler has picked for, to just turn that scrum power into territory. It's been one of the most disjointed backlines in Europe, the Saints, but one of the best scrums, one of the best catch and drive lineouts. It's wet conditions here. I think Myler's selection shows that Northampton want to play territory. They want to squeeze the Saints. There are more ways to score 4 tries than throwing it down the back line.
With Myler, yes, at 10, and also Mallander's boots. Don't underestimate that. Young Harry Mallander, who's been picked in the England under-20 squad for the forthcoming Six Nations version. Strong from George Peacey. Going to try in the impressive win against Glasgow earlier in the competition. Northampton look for a similar type of performance, although a few more tries tonight. Bonus point looks like it's going to be critical.
Still play for.
Interesting there, Harry Mallander gets first touch of the ball. Luther Burrell has lost his confidence. He's been playing poorly and there really hasn't been any fluency. His passing game has been non-existent. Mallander will carry, but he's got a good distribution as well.
Scarlets cut the line out and to a good effect as well.
Wait.
Gareth Davis, lovely service.
Horn, red.
Away by Thomas, but only as far as Jamie Elliott, and that's pretty impressive from the winger. And along the Northampton line, almost an interception. George North and another George Peacey were waiting. Tom Williams back from that shoulder problem. Nearly away there.
Northampton, they've been passing wide all season, but again, it's a little bit lateral. It enables Tom Williams to read that. Look at Myler's line there. He's heading towards the touchline. He's not committing anyone. And the Scarlets able to pick that one off fairly easily. Now, what the Scarlets must get right is their defence. They've made fewer tackles than any team in this tournament, and the percentage of successful tackles is less than any team in the tournament. And that is a combination of stats that explains why the Scarlets are 5 for 5 losses, apart from the horrendous injury list.
There's both props there, Phil John and Samson Lee. Just letting the winger get away from them.
Line speed has been an issue all season with their defence now.
Controlling the ball, number 8 is Sam Dickinson. And George North off that wing. This will test the Scarlets' defence. It was good work by Stephen Shingler. He's a pretty big presence himself. So too young Malander. There's Elliott again. 5 years now since his European debut. Oh, and that has sorted out the tackling issue. That was Phil John. And that was very powerful indeed.
He's inside.
Back goes Ben Foden.
No! Stop!
Good response from the Scarlets. Gibson gets the medical team running on.
Well, when the statistics, they'll tell you it's only one tackle, but what a tackle. And it's not about the quantity of tackles, it's the quality can make such a difference there. Phil John played more Pro 12 games than anyone in Scarlet's colours. Double whammy there.
Tom Price.
Tom Price involved as well. That will have hurt Jamie Gibson. And the Saints will want him fit and raring, because he's been as good a player as they've had in the back row this season. He's had a tremendous season, very dynamic, and a superb line-out forward.
I was going to say that as well. It's all aspects of his game, but he's just going to be checked here, and quite rightly so. I think for a moment he didn't know quite where he was, so a head injury assessment and an early introduction for John Fisher, the former London Irish back rower. Gibson looks pretty okay now, but it's the right call. We see it more and more, and it's been a very positive move in the game to get the player checked out properly in a calm environment.
Came off the bench last week, Fisher, much later in the game, obviously, as a tactical change. Carried very well indeed, but he doesn't quite have the spring in the line-out that Gibson has. Great battle in the front row as well. All the headlines about Dylan Hartley, but Ken Owens, an outstanding international hooker in his own right, and Owens a lot to prove. Called last week's performance in Paris disrespectful to the Scarlets club, supporters, everyone. They will be up for this.
As Owens, one of 7 Scarlets in the Wales squad for the Six Nations, and as you say, strong words this week to his team.
Okay, 6 from goal. The deal was clear before the game and not in a pre-engage. Your responsibility, both.
And you can't really hold back, can you, after a 64-point drubbing? Biggest ever European defeat for the Scarlets, and a very early decision has been made on Jamie Gibson. It goes back to that point that I made, just those initial moments he didn't really know where he was, and the medical staff take the cautious route, the professional route, and he has now been permanently replaced by John Fisher.
Well, it's 2 scrums in the game. We've had 1 penalty and 1 free kick to Northampton, and that gives them territory, and it gives them a chance to bomb the ball. Horrendous wet night, well taken there by the fullback. Superb from Michael Collins.
And from Queenstown in New Zealand. Qualified for Wales through his grandfather from Llanelli.
Backwards.
That's a fair old way, Llanelli to Queenstown.
Scarlets look to use Collins and Aaron Shingler too. So many injuries at the moment, it is a ridiculous list. Regan King tries to slip the ball away, but there was an early tackle there.
Early tackle by 7. Early tackle.
Good refereeing there. Pascal Gauzet saw that very quickly. It was marginal from Tom Wood, but not marginal enough. Chance now for Aled Thomas to give the home team an attacking position. Comes off his right foot very well there, Collins. and offloads that ball. I think the Scarlets, I mean, it's a big test for them today because they can't afford this game to become a matter of contact and collision. They've got to take risks with offloading and try and keep this ball moving and just move the Northampton defence around. The slower the game, the more it will suit Northampton.
You do two steps.
As you can see, it's absolutely bucketing down, and it's forecast to be this way pretty well all through the match.
Open.
It arrived on cue. The forecasters were spot on, and it's going to be very difficult for the players out there. I think the pitch takes it very well here. The Parker Scarlets.
Stay, 8, stay. Leave it.
Bit of own medicine there from the Scarlets to the Saints pack. They've got the penalty.
And we'll see a fair bit of this tonight. No doubt the rolling more because of the conditions. And it does lead to a shot at goal for the Scarlets. And his evening is over. Now a spectator, Jamie Gibson.
Through the gate, but after you release your bind and you collapse the ball carrier, it's penalty.
There are evenings that belong to the big men. Evenings made for forwards, and tonight is one of them. They're the masters of the occasion. It's up to the backs to turn it into points, either by going for the corner and giving them another carrot, or turning those penalties into points. From the Scarlets' point of view, they've got a nice early drive on there. Sensible, they've gone to 2 in these conditions. So often we've seen early attempts to go long. They go to 2, they set the drive, force the penalty.
We threw it out there as the question, posts or not, and given the conditions, it is the rolling more. Is perhaps the best way to work the score, but not that time. There's Will Boyd wearing 7. Bit of good news for the Scarlets on the injury front. John Barkley out at the moment, of course. James Davis also injured. But Boyd is back. He was injured in pre-season, in fact, so it's been a long time for him with a knee and a foot problem, but he has returned.
Cracking last line out from Northampton, didn't wait for the drive, got up in the air and disrupted.
It's a ball, wait!
Taken by Christian Day from Hartley's throw.
No, move.
And it's a penalty for the Saints this time.
You collapsing the ball carrier, it's penalty. It's the same penalty, you collapsing the ball carrier, it's penalty. 4.
Same reason.
You are fine, eh?
Early score at Kilmarnock, Rugby Park. Nearly said Scotstoun, but I think you can play much rugby there at the moment. Glasgow 3, Racing 92-0, and that's a Finn Russell penalty. Of course, kicking off at the same time as us. The pools coordinated on this final weekend. Simultaneous kickoffs. And there's an interception, and it's Mallinder, and Mallinder looks to use that rangy stride of his. He scored right at the end last week to snatch the win, and he scores pretty well near the start here to get that first important try for Northampton. It has to be a win. It's got to be tries as well, we think, too. And it is Harry Mallinder.
From out the blue, a very good change of pace there from Mallinder. He took the ball and you thought the men in red were going to hunt him down, and then that big raking stride just extends and he's gone. Very quick there from Mallinder. Starts with Paulino winning a line out off Tom Wood, but it's poor ball. On nights like this, you don't want to risk poor ball. Then it's forced, and this is the moment you think he's caught, and then what's the change of pace? There's the extra stride. Brilliant.
That running stride reminiscent of anyone? Used to play for Sale in the 90s.
Yeah, I can remember his old man playing against in Bath Sale games. Very similar to his father there. But that's a horrible moment, and you'll see that he hits the 22. There's the extra stride there, and he's gone.
Haywood Road saw that a few times with Jim Mallinder. Parker Scarlets gets a view of the Harry Mallinder 400-metre runner stride.
2, release!
So,
wait,
as it stands into that 8th position, but that's precarious. Will 18 points be enough? You have to doubt that it will. Northampton, though,
Black stay!
to 13 minutes already with 1 try.
Tries are going to have to be chiselled out on a night like this. They'll be very grateful for that opportunity.
Crashing that one up was Stephen
No,
Shingler.
stay, 10!
And his opposite number. His brother Aaron.
Release! Thank you.
Gareth Davis. Shingler again.
Release, Black! Stay. No!
Aaron Shingler was filling in at 7, but that not really his position. Back on the blind side tonight. It's another
Good tackle.
ball that is dislodged and coming Northampton's way, and it's Kessel who takes them on. He's looking for someone just to cut a line off that wing. It was Myler to Dickinson, on to Waller.
No!
Quick ball here, and it's back with Kessel. Oh, he's overdone that, and you could hear his cry of anguish as soon as he put boot to ball.
Well, some lovely work from Kessel initially in broken play. Picked a lovely diagonal angle. Scarlett's trying to play very flat, and that is trademark Courtney Lawes. We haven't seen much of that this season, and Eddie Jones watching will be hoping for a lot more before the Six Nations starts. And here's Kessel on the break, pulling men wide, just opening up space. Dickinson carrying on. Scrum half gets back into position. He looks up and just a little bit headstrong there. Quick, lively there from Kessel. From the Scarlets' point of view, they'll be hoping their own key man will be scrum half Gareth Davis. They've got to get the scrum up on the ball. He's a dangerous runner, but at the moment, Saints going forward.
C'est bon, Max. Numbers.
Kessel played with Newbury initially,
Wait.
went on to Plymouth Albion, and
No!
the Cornish Pirates in the English Championship. Gareth Davis decides to run the ball away.
8! Tackle, release! 8!
See that as an interesting decision on a night like this, but he was almost driven into that call.
Try to defend in a
He
chest,
did
but
really
after
well,
you
Gareth
away,
Davis.
tackle, penalty.
Try scorer at Northampton in the earlier
I don't
meeting
need
in
your
the
help,
pool.
thank you very much.
I know that
Keep
Tom
connecting
Wood
with the
will
play.
be
Thank you.
disappointed that he missed his man, but Gareth Davis is very elusive.
Yeah, thanks.
Cracking World Cup, very dangerous runner. 9 caps for Wales and 5 tries. That tells you about his running threat. And here you think Wood's got him, but that little outside break, just getting himself out of trouble. Bit lucky, the pass goes to nowhere, but he's pinned in there and he's in a hole. Don't underestimate the difficulty getting outside Wood there.
Down from Paulino at the line out. Ended up in the sin bin in Paris, but also had that lovely run and offload as well. One of the bright moments, weren't many. Now DTH van der Merwe has to get back, but the whistle has gone. It's gone forward in the tackle.
You make a no corner.
And this will be Scarlets put in at the scrum.
No corner by Black
DTH
with
van
the
der
head.
Merwe, the Canadian international.
Yeah.
Another with a yellow card last week.
Talk about World Cups, what a fantastic World Cup DTH van der Merwe had. Absolutely brilliant tournament. Like a lot of players, I think, just easing his way back into the domestic season after the
So Mark is here.
highlights of last autumn.
Is it good?
Just to return to that issue on discipline, Wayne Pivac making the point this week that Scarlets do have to address it. And on yellow cards, 15 yellow cards they've got in the Pro 12. That's last week's, of course.
Fine!
But that's often happening, Mars. I mean, their pack is struggling at the moment, and when you're going backwards, you commit more penalties, you're forced into indiscipline, and you get yellow cards.
Just
There's the boss in the middle. Well, Stephen Jones
have a slow
alongside.
course cadence with positioning, okay?
Former Scarlet
Discipline
star as
now.
a player.
I don't want to
Byron
receive
Hayward there
so many
as
scrum,
well.
okay? You know my way, what I need, okay? Strong bind, no pre-engage, and stay straight. Happy? Do you understand?
Happiness is a wet Saturday night in West Wales for front row forwards. What else could they be? What a contrast. Phil John, 34, been around forever. Paul Hill, 20 years of age, just started on the long road.
Well, John made his Heineken Cup debut, as it was in those days, way back in 03-04. The team that he played against doesn't even exist now, the Borders.
No, stay, Nine. No.
You're old when you play against teams that no longer actually have the capacity to play.
No, Black, you lost.
As Boyd acts as the half-back. Had that moment of territory, the Scarlets, down in the corner when they opted to kick to touch from the penalty.
Play on.
What you're already seeing, Miles, though, they find it very hard to penetrate the game line. That's been a problem all Europe for them.
They're facing a 6th defeat.
Hey, Trees! Wait, red.
Alex Waller.
Stay.
He was a try scorer at Franklin's.
No, 6. Fine.
Up from Kessel. George North after this.
Backwards, play on.
He's playing the man and not the ball.
You lost, Black. Stay.
Dates. Morgan Allen, the former Osprey at number 8, with that drive.
Wait for.
Up from Gareth Davis, that's swinging in field. North's not going to make it. Right, nobody seemed quite sure where it was going to land up. There's Aaron Shingler.
C'était bon, Jean-Luc?
J'ai pas vu, je suis masqué, je vois rien. C'est bon.
No, release!
Regan King does enough to hold on.
Stay.
Approaching the midway point of this first half. Out from Aled Thomas to Steven Shingler. Here's Van der Merwe. Looks for the offload, just can't get the ball away to Tom Williams. And then the penalty comes as the ball does not come back.
No, release the ball. Let the ball here. First man on feet.
Cracking defence there from Northampton. A lot of width there. DT Van der Merwe. One of the most penetrative runners in the Scarlets team, but Northampton did a super job of nullifying him and closing him off.
Well, let's get the thoughts of the Scarlets team manager, Garen Evans. He's there and he's ready to talk to Graham.
Miles, thank you very much indeed. Garen, apart from the cheapest 7 points imaginable, how's the first 20 minutes been?
Sorry, can you say it again? I just had a message coming through the same time as the question.
I was saying, apart from the cheapest 7 points imaginable, how happy are you with your first 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's not bad considering the conditions. Obviously, it's not easy. There's a couple of big hits gone in, so it's got the supporters fired up, which is something. So it's a bit positive from last week already.
Is the problem for you tonight trying to play the weather and to try and play Northampton? To beat Northampton, you've got to spread it around, but the weather doesn't allow that. Is getting the judgment right on that going to be the key for you tonight?
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, we've still got to play territory to start with and get in the correct positions. But yeah, hopefully if we can win a bit of territory, then we can start throwing it a bit wider then.
Right, Garen, thank you. Miles, all yours.
Thanks, Graham. Yes, lacking that territory. Northampton not here.
Still advantage.
As Waller takes it on. Back with Kessel. Is he going to fall for PC? It does. George PC slides, and I think he's got there.
Yeah.
It is going to be checked. Northampton are going for it. They're not going for gold, but silver might well get them through. And there's try number 2, we think.
If the try not scoring, I'm back to the penalty for not rolling away.
Okay, Pascal.
Very least it's a penalty. I think it's going to be a try. PC ball under the left arm, keeps it nice and snug, doesn't lose control of it. There it is, down. That is a try. Another player who's not had the easiest season after the World Cup, but he's got 5 points there.
Pascal, for me it's a try.
For me it's a try.
Yes, okay, mostly for me it's a try.
Thank you very much. It's a try. Time off. Try.
Gascoigne goes there, got all the way across to look at the big screen in the corner, so he had a jog back to locate the position where that man scored the second try of the night. Mentioned earlier that he scored against Glasgow in that vital win in Scotland. Well, he's done it again here.
Well, Scarlet's getting lured into the ball. 3 men fixed into the tackle there, even though the pass is a wide one. DTH Van der Merwe is isolated there, really lured into space by Northampton. they're able to commit and create space wide in a way that they themselves with the ball in hand are not. Quite cleverly there, Courtney Lawes, I think, lets that ball go, decides he can't do anything with it, allows it to bounce through. It's a fine finish by Peacey.
There's Myler. And every point does matter, but it's the tries that really matter tonight, and they're halfway there. Well,
it's been a bad start for the Scarlets. It's been an awful one for Ulster. They got their 5 points against Oyonnax today, did all they could to go to 18. But of course, if Northampton get the 4 tries, they go to 19.
There's the pool at the moment, with Racing having already qualified, knowing that they will be at home, regardless of what happens against Glasgow this evening. We'll come back to what's happening in terms of the top 8 in a second. And Stuart says it's not looking too good for Ulster. Northampton keep powering on from here. There's Phil John.
No.
Davis, Regan King. His winger had gone. Tom Williams shot out of the blocks.
Steph Evans has been playing very well on the right wing, and Tom Evans hasn't played that much and just not quite in sync.
Let's just have a quick look at this then. And you can see that Northampton are hunting Ulster down. If they finish level with Ulster on 18 points, then points difference means that Ulster are in a better position. But you can see what moving on to 19 would do, especially with Stade Francais and Clermont already with 14 points. With 14 points in the bag, and they play tomorrow. So that would really force those two French sides to go out looking for those bonus points as well. And they are in front of Northampton in terms of points difference. Toulon have already got to 20 points. Northampton can't catch them, but it will be all eyes on Stade Francais against Leicester and Clermont against Bordeaux-Bègles. Northampton looking for Leicester to do them a favour. Possibly. There's Davis. And Michael Collins looking to use his strength to go through Fisher. Davis again. Morgan Allen. Here's Kessel up the short side. And he's watched and tackled well by his opposite number, Gareth Davis.
Yeah, just going back to the qualification situation at the moment, the reality is, from a Northampton point of view, if they score 2 more tries and go to 19 points, they will be favourites. Certainties, but favourites to qualify. If they win this game, but they don't get 4 tries, then qualification will be in the hands of the French clubs, and they will be odds against.
Well, you would say Clermont would fancy themselves to get 4 tries against Bordeaux-Bègles. Stade Francais might be hard pushed against Leicester Tigers, who've gone so well in that pool. So that's why you say favourites, but nothing would be certain.
Play on! Play on!
It would only need, if they get 18 points, only one team needs to get the same tally as Northampton because of their poor points difference, and they will be out. They really do. I mean, they know, I think they need 5 points. That's the reality.
That's the way of looking at it. If they don't get the bonus point tonight, then they are hanging by a thread. Thomas to King. And over the years, whoever he's played for, Regan King has been a lovely runner with the ball. And the Scarlets will want to see more and more of him. Shingler almost. Another interception there as Myler came in. Sprawling, trying to get hands on it.
He never wants to serve the ball.
Excellent aggressive defence here. Scarlets get a little bit of space. I think Myler's trying to catch that ball. The crowd certainly don't. Oh, do you know what? That ball goes straight down off his right hand. I think more often than not, that's probably given as a penalty.
I still agree with your point. I think he was trying to catch it because just seeing what Nine did okay from close.
Shoulder.
Going to push it. Look for moments just like that.
just watching the way the Scarlets backline is playing, and the absence of Scott Williams is so huge for them. He just gives them direction and threat in the middle. And if you think about Liam Williams out, Hadley Parks, who's been so effective for them, they're really hurt. The lack of penetration is pretty obvious for all to see here. They're trying to play some pretty rugby, but it's so hard without the penetrating runners.
Same for your team. Bano here. Ban here.
Bit of a warning there being issued by the referee at the scrum. Hadley Parks has been rested for this game, which is obviously an indication of what the Scarlets are now thinking of. Big game in the Pro 12 next week. See live on Sky Sports against Connacht. Scarlets top of the Pro 12 and worked so hard in the first half of the season to get into that position, to give themselves a shot at glory in that competition. Well, the warning was issued to the Scarlets.
Around the tight head and pushing. Number 9. First man,
but it's Northampton
you push the number 9.
who transgressed. And this time, I think Ken Owens is pointing at the post. He is.
When you lost 64-14 previous week, you're 12-0 down after 27 minutes. You've got to take the points. You've got to say to your goal kicker, get us on the scoreboard, just give us something to hang on to.
Neuf plus gaucher.
Eminently kickable. It's difficult conditions because it is squally to savage, I would describe this night. But at the moment, this pitch is holding up pretty well. The left foot should be okay at this stage of the game. There's no excuse really. There's not much wind. Aled Thomas should get this kick.
As a team, the Scarlets have the worst kicking percentage in the competition. 56%, but that is 100% from Aled Thomas, and a very impressive start from him off the tee on this filthy night, and the Scarlets are onto the scoreboard. Tough night to get the 4 tries, but that Malander first score, real bonus, the interception.
Stop!
Pieces, excellently worked.
Yeah, thank you.
Dickinson.
No, it
Ben
is!
Foden there. Scored a try the last time these two met on this ground in 2012. Courtney Laws. Kessel. Myler, crossfield, it worked. Close to the Glasgow line last week. Well played by Tom Williams. That's a nice take from Foden off a greasy surface, wet ball.
Move, move, move. Move 13, it's fine. Red, 4, stop!
Here's Myler to have his turn. And that one takes us to touch, applauded by captain Dylan Hartley.
Dylan Hartley was actually offering the assistant referee a position from which the line-out could be thrown. About 4 metres further upfield.
Well, he's always been very helpful to referees, Dylan.
Yeah.
Black.
Talking this week about his walking on eggshells at the moment. He's tiptoeing.
No, 6.
Oh, lovely angle there.
From Aled Thomas. Real injection of pace. Tom Price in again for George Earl. Can't shake off this calf issue which he picked up over Christmas. George North goes back for Northampton, also Ben Foden. It's Foden protected by the big looming presence of North and managing to find an angle.
Well, considering he's used his right foot there, Ben Foden has done very well. He's made an assured start. Nothing flash from Foden. One of the reasons he lost his place in the England squad was the number of elementary errors he made. On a night like this, if Foden can handle everything, get his kicks away, take his high balls, he's already in credit. He started well.
3, you stay. You stay. No. 2, move. That's fine.
Scarlets don't like this.
That's fine.
Ordering around from the referee, they take a timeout and move away just to reset the mind.
It's a more!
And it
Wait,
works. Gareth Davis. There's Thomas, Regan King, Williams out wide to Van der Merwe. Nicely played by Shingler. And Stephen Shingler, the centre. It's Thomas again, hands from Regan King, beautiful. And Michael Collins involved as well. Bit of vintage King. Even with a wet ball. Samson Lee. It's better from the Scarlets, the territory that manager Gareth Evans was talking about. He wanted to see from his side, but then the mistake on the tackle. Back goes Kessel. Foden to North.
There's no corner advantage.
Gonna have a lot to do here. If there's one man on the field who can do it,
Advantage, no corner.
it is George North. Bust through a few tackles, but he decides to take the tackle.
Advantage over.
Mallinder, and there's that extra kicking option in all its glory.
Well, that Luther Burrell does not have that. Talked about Burrell's lack of confidence, his passing game not great, but for Myler just to be able to sweep that ball off his left hand is really good. Here's the attack. Very clever play there from the Scarlets. Regan King could have been a jazz pianist, it was so soft there. Collins does very well, and Van der Merwe does brilliantly to just step off his wing and keep this alive. Watch the way he just rolls this ball out of the tackle, keep it alive. Again, that's what the Scarlets have got to do. Don't take the tackles if they can. Move the ball from the point of attack. Lovely play there, but a very solid kick from Mallinder as well. So I talked about Scott Williams, Miles. Regan King now, mid-30s, he doesn't have... His body's not as quick as his brain, and what he needs are players who can play off him, and someone like Scott Williams thrives there.
Talk about father-son combinations as well, Jim and Harry Mallinder. Of course, Regan King's played a match this season with his son, Jacob Cowley. Tomorrow, don't forget, live on Sky Sports, we have Clermont against Bordeaux-Bègles. Sky Sports 3 from 3 o'clock. And Northampton could be watching that with great interest. If you just get this bonus point tonight. Halfway there. Carry from the replacement Fisher. Milo, and he drew them on. And here's Foden, might have created a bit of space. George North. Here's Waller. Myler. And Jamie Elliott started the game in a really busy fashion. Looks to do it again there. Mallinder wide to Fisher, who got this move going with a strong run. There's Myler to Dickinson. Kessel. Myler again. And then it's on from Kesey to Waller to Elliott, who's popped up on the other wing. Important for the Scarlets here to hold out with half-time fast approaching. They try and eliminate the memories of last week. And they defend well enough, the home side.
Well, that was a typical mix of good and bad from Northampton this season. A couple of horrible passes behind the man just stopped them, but Mallinder does very well. Not a great pass there initially, but Mallinder gets that ball away and does brilliantly. And as the move sweeps the other way, there's been real problem with big, long passes from inside centre. Mallinder passes really sweetly at the moment, and it's just getting them into slightly wider channels. You can see it again. Good width on that pass. Too often those passes have been inaccurate this season.
12's his position, we are told. He's very versatile.
Well, Miles, he's got a lovely kicking game off the fly half. He can carry a ball straight, and he's got good distribution and a nick of scoring tries. I mean, he's looking a decent 12 at the moment.
This season,
It's not
Northampton
stable.
qualified
Platform was not stable.
second in the pool with 19
Because the ground.
points, and they're going to need 19
Because the ground.
this season as well.
You left your.
Not 100% mathematically needing 19 points, but
I am on your side, yeah?
that's the way
I am on
it
the
really
side.
looks.
They'll sleep better tonight if they get those 19. Let's put it that way.
They might not sleep if they get 18. Might not sleep at all. Get a penalty at the scrum.
Knee on the ground. Knee on the ground.
This time it is against Samson Lee. The Welsh international tight head, and Myler straight to the corner. 4 minutes. Make the task in the second half a whole lot easier if they can nick another now.
Yet another penalty against the Scarlets for Northampton's scrum, and it's turned into a line-out, and this has been the best aspect of their game. Hasn't been perfect so far, but from 5 metres out, Hartley has been so efficient most of his career. Go to the front and get the drive on.
With Christian Day in the air, and now bringing George North off the wing. Scarlets diving into the breakdown and do that really well. Great commitment. And Hartley goes back and feeds Foden. Has the chance gone? Still 3 minutes.
Move.
And Stephen Shingler calls for the mark.
And it was his brother who might well have saved the Scarlets from a try. Brilliantly quick-witted piece of play from the back row forward.
Going down the middle.
That's clever play.
Dickinson goes back.
Inside.
Foden. And that's a reasonable gain now for the Scarlets. They'll be quite pleased with that. Might have just weathered Northampton's efforts before half-time now.
Steve's a 10 who can play 12. Aaron is a 7 who can play 6, and look at that. That is open side play of the highest caliber. Forget the number on his back. That is brilliant. He's so fast in there. You think that Kessel's got the ball away, but no.
There's Stephen Shingler again.
Backwards.
Davis. Was a little tap on the floor, but the ball not going forward. Regan King is caught.
Leave it.
Morgan Allen. That's powerful. He was threatened earlier in the half to do that. Now he really brings it home there. Paulino, the Samoan international. Alan Thomas. Shingler looking for the offload if he can. Good tackle from Fish, who came on early on for Gibson.
20, stay here.
Regan King. There's Boyd. Nearly a chance to get Davis. The scrum half, very quick scrum half away on the inside. It's King again.
Just trying to get runners easing either side of him, aren't they?
You lost the ball for
And it's a knock-on.
It's knock on.
But still, you know, you see that carry from Morgan Allen, and then the Samoan international Paulido coming in with a big carry. But there's precious few times the Scarlets have really won the gain line. It's been the Northampton defence dominant. That instance, Malinder gets knocked off it. So scant wrong today, but misses that tackle. Allen spins on, and then Paulido gives them a little bit more, but it gets into the back line, and Northampton are in control again.
More space, you're too close, sir. More space. Fine.
The former Osprey.
You know what I want.
in his time there playing against the Northampton Saints for that debut.
I think as we approach half-time, conditions as they are, you say to Northampton 12-3 up with 2 tries, they would certainly have taken it. The Scarlets would not.
George North. Still North. He went through Tom Williams. In goes a boot of Aaron Shingler this time to try and slow it down. Myler gives it a go, hopes for a bit of a bounce for Jamie Elliott. And that will conclude the first half. A quick summary.
Decent half. The Scarlets competitive but lacking penetration. Northampton a wonderful bonus with Harry Mallinder's start and that early try in a good position to do what they need to do, but there's work to be done yet.
There certainly is. The home record for the Scarlets in Europe, it's not a good one. They've only won 2 out of their last 13 here, and they've got to look like the home side in the second half. Otherwise, Northampton, with half the job done, could have 1 foot in the quarter-final. We'll see.
Sometimes I dream of saving the world, saving everyone from the invisible hand, the one that controls us every day without us knowing it. But I can't stop it. I'm not that special.
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on.
The new Fiat 500, the Icon Reloaded. In Fiat showrooms now.
The horn of a unicorn is a powerful thing. Their superconductor powers will make streetlights shine whiter, televisions brighter, and food cook quicker. We call it HD electricity. You what? There's no such thing. All electricity does the same. So why pay more? Switch to First Utility and you could save money. Search First Utility.
The ingredient of a good morning. Enjoy Alpro Almond Unsweetened, made with roasted Mediterranean almonds for a pure and natural taste that's sugars-free and low in calories.
Keep it fun, gamble responsibly.
With Double Delight and Hat-Trick Heaven, a tenner on the first goal scorer at 4-1 gets you 50 quid, then 90 quid if he scores again, and 130 quid if he bags a hat-trick.
Why bet on first goal scorers anywhere else?
Don't miss out. Bet on your mobile, online or in shops now.
Okay, here we go.
Want me to really blow your mind?
Kind of brilliant.
I get it. I can feel you judging me.
Yes! You really need to calm down.
Okay.
The Big Short.
On Monday, the 1st of February, join us for all the transfer news, the done deals, and all the speculation. Transfer deadline day, Sky Sports News HQ.
Northampton Saints have arrived here at Parker Scarlets this evening, needing a win, but needing a try-bonus point as well, and they've rather been helped on their way by the home side with Harry Mallinder. What a week it's been for the son of the director of rugby, scampering over for the first of them. Great speed to get away, and the second two, well, in the defensive review on Monday for the Scarlets, will be deemed soft, I'm sure. George Peacey sliding over in the corner. Alan Thomas has knocked over 3 points for the home side, but not a thing of beauty in the rain. Northampton, however, halfway towards what they need. Racing, we already know, will be back at the Stade de Manoir in the knockouts. Northampton, as things stand, hold the keys to one of those 3 best runners-up spots. Glasgow are actually leading in Kilmarnock by 3 points to 0. Finn Russell with the only penalty there. That also not a thing of beauty in the rain. And in terms of the top 8, confirmation Northampton are in at the moment, but they could really do with that extra point, which would lift them above Ulster. Sarries, Racing, Leicester and Wasps all confirmed, as are Toulon, who are through. They cannot be caught as one of those 3 best runners-up. So as we said, the rain falling here in West Wales, it's not making it all that easy for Northampton, not making it all that easy for the Scarlets either, but they seem to have had a bit of a shove from the home side, Saints, to get them up and running. What have you made of that first 40 minutes?
Yeah, half decent, taking some opportunities, good defensive line speed. Clearly, Scarlets are wanting to keep the ball in hand, even though the weather is playing against them in that. They need to be able to move the slightly bigger side around, and with that, some good reads from Ken Pesey, shut them down when they've needed to. Scarlet's getting a bit of a foothold into the game, but they'll be hugely disappointed. They've conceded 2 really, really soft tries.
Should we have a look at the first of them then? It's sort of head in your hands moment, really, for the host side, isn't it? But well read from Harry Mallender.
Oh, certainly. But first of all, what you got to do, you know, it's one against the head. So, you know, you think, yeah, fantastic, you know, they're getting into the opposition, and then all of a sudden, we're going to do here. We have a look. Look at the amount of numbers. Look at the numbers.
Is it on?
That they've got out there. You know, it's absolutely incredible. They go there. If the pass is on, then Morgan Allen just going to slowly go forward. If you have a look here, right, give the ball there. If you give the ball there, it's on. If you give the ball there, it's on. And then if you give the ball there, it's on. And if you give the ball there, it's not. Go forward and give the ball there. So the only place it wasn't on is when you give the pass. So give it early, back yourself, give it late, go forward.
There's no such thing as a bad decision on a rugby field as long as you commit and you go. That was a shall I, shan't I? It's one of those moments that you look back on and go, just didn't commit to himself, didn't see what was happening fast enough.
The pass would have been the right one at the right time. Probably the Scarlets score in the right-hand corner.
Yeah. Good speed, nevertheless. And the second?
Yeah,
again.
Second try, hugely disappointing with their defensive display. We're going to have a look at a couple of aspects of it. One, the first couple of hits just get bumped off too easy on the first hit. Line speed is greasy. The second couple they miss, they go, their line speed and their organisation is poor. So as they come in over the top, here's the first nudge, got to get a better contact. Wins, fights, scraps on. Now this is really poor Morgan Allen. It's a great carry. As we shift out now, so they've lost the battle of the contact in and around the game line. And now, as they come around the corner, what we're going to see them do is they're going to get their organisation wrong. This fella is going to dive in. He's going to dive in there, and the Jan on the outside stays wide. Because he stays wide, he allows him to run straight through the middle. And you'll just see poor organisation, disjointed, disconnected. And then the frustrating one, as we see here, is as this ball bounces, this young fella should absolutely fly. What he does is he just sort of backs off and goes, you have it, you have it, you have it. Oh.
You've got to get out of the line. As soon as that ball goes to the floor, you just hit the man, you know, and if he does that, then he's probably going into touch. Unfortunately, what he did was, like Dean just said, if you hang off there, give George Pesey a yard on the outside, he's going to do you.
Yeah, OK. Looking at the wider picture, a lot of eyes on Dylan Hartley. If you didn't see the Sarries game earlier on, Jamie George was prominent, and it looks as if the Northampton skipper is responding in kind. You've been impressed with him.
Yeah, well, he's been running himself into the ground. His touches haven't been perfect, but his commitment and work ethic have been really strong. Chasing, defending. Look, he gets beaten, but he's wanting to be in the picture. Here's a really good effort. Great tackle, gets back up in a second, comes round, gets back on his feet, goes and smashes the same breakdown. Go on, Dylan, in again. Just make things difficult. I think he's had a couple of lines nipped off, but strong first half.
But whenever that, you know, he gets in there, he works hard, he's leading from the front, he knows he's got to lead from the front, you know. You wouldn't watch the Jamie George, but he knows how well he's been playing all year. But 2 lineouts gone astray, you know. That's like a goal kicker missing 6 points a goal, you know. They need to tighten that up in the second half.
Quick word on the Scots. In contact and leading the way in the Pro 12, how important for them that they put together a 40 minutes here that can put some momentum back into the league campaign when it resumes?
It's vital, you know, the way they're playing, you know, they go out, they try to play. When was the last time you saw Regan King put a ball, 20 yards, hit the floor, into touch? You know, offloads when they're not on. It's about players making the right decision and at the right time. There's nothing wrong with putting your foot to the ball and chasing the ball, especially in these conditions. Northampton, you know, they're quite big men on the turn. Get in behind them, chase, get them to make mistakes. If they can do that, then they're in this game. But they need to come out. They need to come out. They need to score first. They need to back themselves.
It was summed up. Northampton had a free kick. What do? Stick a good old-fashioned up and under. Play the conditions. Know their jobs.
Absolutely know their jobs. Know the fact, too, that Saints could really do with 2 more tries. If they can close this one out, of course, take the win and that extra point. And that, I presume, will be the message from Jim Mallender to his men at half-time. They are halfway to what they need. But as Scott was saying, the Scarlets will be absolutely desperate in the second 40 that they can put something together just to inject a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum when the Pro 12 resumes in the not-too-distant future. 12-3 to the Saints at half-time in the second half when we return.
The Big Short has been nominated for 5 BAFTAs, including Best Film and Best Director Adam McKay.
That is crazy.
It's awesome. And now it's been nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. That's what I thought.
You get a big mouth and you just keep it shut for a few days.
Okay.
The Big Short.
Keep it fun, gamble responsibly.
With Double Delight and Hat-Trick Heaven, a tenner on the first goal scorer at 4-1 gets you 50 quid. Then 90 quid if he scores again, and 130 quid if he bags a hat-trick.
Why bet on first goal scorers anywhere else?
Bet on your mobile, online, or in shops now.
On Blu-ray and DVD.
Me and my brother, we're gonna rule London.
Tom Hardy in Legend. Buy it Monday.
I'll keep you safe.
At Nationwide, we've been helping people with their money for generations. Maybe that's why we've been awarded Best Loyalty Rewards for existing customers. Visit us online or talk to us today.
If you fall ill abroad, we'll help find a doctor who speaks your language. Just part of the Kiss and Make Better service we deliver daily. American Express.
Yes, it's got its own super-fast 4G Wi-Fi. Yes, its super bright LED matrix lights shine further than you think. Yes, it's received a host of great reviews. Yes, it's a new Astra.
We started this company from nothing. Right, now we're selling it. I'm talking about our dreams, man. You don't understand.
Okay, here's what I do understand, Richie. You're high.
Yeah, what? So what?
Let's show people how rock and roll is supposed to make you feel.
It's fast, it's dirty, it smashes you over the head.
Brand new drama, Vinyl. Series starts February 15th on Sky Atlantic.
Pool 2 rounds out round 6, and tomorrow afternoon our focus will be on Clermont-Auvergne, who will know by that stage what they need to do to make the quarters. They host Bordeaux-Bègles themselves, not out of it. They could still mathematically win the pool, Bordeaux-Bègles. So that, with a lot riding on it, the Stade Marcel Michelin from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 3, and we'll round everything up for you as per usual with European Rugby special final round highlights, 9:30 Sky Sports 2, and that'll be on the on-demand service as well tomorrow night. Northampton halfway home. They lead. They have 2 tries in the bag. Where are the 2 others going to come from? Let's hear from the Northampton backs coach Alex King, who's ready to talk to Graham.
Alex, how happy a dressing room is the away dressing room right now?
Yeah, well, we realise there's a big 40 minutes ahead of us, and yeah, we scored 2 tries, and we need to make sure we score 2 more and win the game.
Jim Mallender said to me before the game that he thought playing the youngsters in the back division was a bit of a calculated gamble tonight. To what extent do you think that's coming off?
Yeah, they've done really well for us this season, and I think both Tommy and Harry have been fantastic. Tommy's kicked well, and Harry is just that playmaker at 12, the ability to take a bit of pressure off Steve, and especially in these conditions, to have someone who can kick the ball 50, 60 yards is invaluable.
I mean, to the Mallinder born, you have to say this guy. I mean, you've seen him obviously coming through the academy and where he is now. How special is he, Alex, and what's he got that maybe coaches don't even need to coach?
Just that awareness of space, really. I think we saw last week the 30, 50 minutes he had against Glasgow. Fantastic opportunist try. Today he's got an intercept, scored another one. I like his ratio over tries to games at the moment.
It's not bad, is it? Do you suspect it's your forwards are going to grunt this out for you from here on in?
I think everyone needs to contribute. It's going to be a 23-man game. It's going to go to the wire. They're a proud club, bouncing back from last week, and we realise that we've got huge 40 minutes to save our season.
Right, Alex, thanks ever so much. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you, Graham. Miles and Stuart back with you in commentary here, and that is as it stands in terms of the qualification at the moment. I mean, there is a route, of course, for Ulster and Northampton to qualify, being on 18 points. They would be reliant on the Ospreys not winning their pool, therefore Clermont topping that pool, the Ospreys, say, staying stuck on 16 points, but they would also be looking for Leicester to do them a favour against Stade Francais. Not so Ulster, maybe, because they're in front of Northampton on points difference, and that's why in that scenario Northampton really do need to keep pushing for this fourth try and bonus point. 19 feels so much more than 18, doesn't it?
I just repeat it. I mean, it's possible for Northampton with 18. It's unlikely. It's not certain with 19, but it's probable. They have to get ahead of Ulster, and then they have to hope that their dearest and nearest friends Leicester can do them a favour first up in Paris.
Well, just to throw in something on that as well, if Racing leave Glasgow with nothing tonight, which is a possibility as we've seen with the half-time situation, then Leicester can't be overhauled as second seed, and that might just put a different complexion on what's in front of them in Paris tomorrow. So lots of ifs and buts, but I think what we can say here tonight from a Northampton point of view is what we've been trying to hammer home all along, and what Alex King was emphasising there in his interview, is that this fourth try is so important to the Saints to give them the best possible chance of qualification come tea time tomorrow.
Alex King made the point that Scarlet's not in form, a thin squad, and they're struggling with injuries, but they've got to rebound from last week, and it will not be easy.
Knock on. No advantage.
Because these conditions are really trying conditions, aren't they?
Very difficult. And you know, this is a Northampton team set out to play positional, territorial rugby. There's the knock-on you can see from young Paul Hill. It's good to see a prop forward getting there, chasing the ball. But you know, the Saints have a strong edge in the scrum, and that is so much more important when you get conditions like this. Games do devolve back to the foundations of a match, which is the scrum and the line-out, where the Saints have an edge.
Because there aren't many slipping and sliding number 8s who walk off a rugby field as a victor. Not on nights like these. That might help. Penalty for the Scarlets after that high tackle.
Yeah, around the neck, around the neck. Yeah, are you fine? He slept, but he's around the neck. It's penalty.
Gareth Davis thinking about the quick tap and go. Goes there, pulls him back. There you can see the high tackle from Stephen Myler. Right arm around the neck. As Pascal goes there, says it's a penalty, and he's right.
Want to play? Let's look. He's in charge. Yeah.
Stephen Shingler moving to 12 from 10 this week. Was the kicker at Franklin's Gardens. That job has gone to Aled Thomas, the supply of the Scarlets. Only 3 points thus far tonight, who's come in at 10.
It's traumatic times of late. Steve Shingler as a kicker, he missed just about the last kick of the game in the Christmas game to lose to the Ospreys, which would have hurt people in this region greatly. And in the only game they've won in their last 6 against Connacht, he kicked the last-minute winner to sort of redeem himself. But yeah, 5 losses in their last 6 games. It's a squad full of character, but it's light on resources, and at some stage it does tell.
3 out of their last 6 in the Pro 12, but that comes next week. Concentrating here on Champions Cup.
Pressure, under the pressure. No con. No con by red. Pressure.
Tom Williams going back to his wing. Was starting to shape up in midfield, nearly through there.
Yeah, just a little decoy run in the midfield from Schindler. For a split second, just opened a little bit of space. Sort of blocked George North off there, and Myler wasn't in a great position.
First time in the match, really, that the Scarlets' backs have looked like slicing through or going round.
Well, they've got to find space, Miles, because they're not going to run over Northampton. I think we can agree on that.
Use now. Hold four.
Mallender kicks. And again, he gets good distance.
See, that makes life so much easier, not just for Myler, but for Kessel as well at scrum half. You know, if the scrum doesn't go where it should be going, and you've got a bloke that can boot it 50 metres on the other side, absolutely perfect. Also makes it much harder for the Scarlets' back row. How do you get to 2 men? Easy when it's just 110. When there's 2 kickers, much harder.
Owens to Aaron Schindler.
Fine. Now leave it. 1. 4. Leave it. It's good. That once.
Working hard here, the Scarlets.
Leave it.
Back with Davis. Williams after it. But it's North. Kessel. Hartley, good hands onto Elliott. Elliott tries to skip away from Owens and nearly did.
Move. It's fine.
Courtney Laws. Myler and Mallender combined to find Foden.
No, 11, stop!
Make sure there's no bounce. Thomas does that.
Brian, turnover.
Turnover ball. It was Peace who got in there, the centre. There's Foden. Tom Wood. Up comes Myler and Courtney Laws. Elliott wants it. Now he has to help out at the tackle situation. Kessel to Wood.
Just been enjoying seeing a 12 whose passing is long, quick and accurate.
We want to see more of Mallender in England colours. We've got our coverage of the under-20 Six Nations coming up soon. He's in that squad, and there he is kicking. It was the World Championship in June. At that level, Mallender bound to be involved.
And again, Mallender's dig into the corner, gives them a great position. Hartley straightens the line, and a sweet pass there just to take Tom Price out of the game and give space to Jamie Elliott. And the Scarlets make rather a pickle of clearing Mallender's dig into the corner.
Wait.
Try scoring situation now. 35 minutes to go. Northampton have to make these tell.
Some more. No.
They don't want to leave the 4th one too late, or the requirement to go for that score here would set up over half an hour for Northampton to try and get to the bonus point. That's exactly what they've done. Dickinson's gone over. That is an ideal start to the second half for the English side. Sam Dickinson, a year ago, he was man of the match in the game not too far from here at the Liberty Stadium against the Ospreys. Well, he's supplied a very important try here tonight against the Scarlets. Northampton's 3rd.
All too easy there. Hartley finds his darts now. It's a dig into the corner from Mallender. It's a slice clearance by the Scarlets. It's a 5-metre scrum. And the red resistance just wilts. Dickinson gets his hand on the ball. It's a tight phalanx. Courtney Laws almost picks him up and pulls him over the line there. What's the big England international? Pick up, bang, over you go. And now, 47 minutes gone, Northampton are in a very healthy situation.
Stephen Myler to try and add the 2 points. It was his crossfield kick at the end last week that led to the all-important Harry Mallender try. He misses with that conversion, but that was a pretty important score for Sam Dickinson tonight. Just 8 tries in 5 matches in the pool before today, and Northampton have 3 this evening. 1 more try to take them to 19 points to give themselves the best possible chance of qualification to what will be an 8th European quarter-final. Hunting down Ulster on 18. Got some talent to bring off the bench as well when you think that Lee Dixon's there. The club captain Luther Burrell hasn't been in his best form, but he's a big name. JJ Hanrahan signed for matches like these.
And then you contrast it with the injury-ravaged Scarlets, what they've got to come off the bench, which is very little now because of those injuries. It's a really good situation for Northampton, and they should be turning the screw physically now.
Ken Owens there looking at the referee. But that was all Northampton, all over the Scarlets pack. Here comes George North. This one taken by Aled Thomas. To show some fight here, the Scarlets. Gareth Davis tries to go. Do not want another heavy defeat at home on the back of what happened in Paris. And Northampton get another penalty, and we can be fairly certain this is going towards the corner.
You stay straight down, you prevent the contest. This penalty against you. White.
It's not a question of where it's going, but how close it goes to the corner. It's Courtney Laws, I think, is injured at the moment, and it's the best I've seen him play this season. I think he's had a bit of edge to his game. There's a bit of bite.
Well, the Saints have certainly worked Victor Matfield pretty hard since he arrived. He gets a rest this evening. Laws and Day, the combination. Cruz and Launchbury, the England combination, that's the talk.
Well, Joe Launchbury had a very fine game for Wasps again. He gets his hands on the ball and he's got a great work rate. Cruz has been the most consistent second row in England, but Courtney Laws, though he didn't have the best World Cup, does have a pretty good track record as an England international, and I wouldn't discard Laws quite yet.
He's down. Of course, the Scarlets missing Jake Ball, injured on Boxing Day against the Ospreys, out for 10 weeks. Well, it's in not the middle of it, the start of that period, but well, approaching on middle, I suppose now. January does go quickly, doesn't it? Knee problem.
Number 4, you can just see him right in your picture. I think Paulino comes in and gives him an unedifying clatter. Whoa, that is not good. That is bad.
Referee wants to have a look at that.
Red on the black player. Can I see this?
There's a card involved there.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, the bicep comes in swinging. This is pretty ugly.
What a man to lose before the rolling maul, which is coming the Scarlets' way in a minute or so.
This is dangerous play, Miles. Watch that. Yeah. Bang.
What I see on the B screen is a player, he's
got in a low driving position.
Pascal?
Completely.
Yes, I have a decision.
Yeah.
So number 5, red, with his shoulder, put his shoulder on the face of the black.
Yeah, for me what I see is a number 5 drawing the maul with the arms around the neck on the face. It's penalty and yellow card. Are you agree with that?
I'm agree, no problem.
It's one of those that doesn't look good in real time or slow motion.
4.
And it is
5 red.
Going to be a card. Yellow the colour. What a man to lose, I say, at this point with what is just around the corner.
5 red.
Paulino goes for 10 minutes.
Let's come. You join in the mall with the shoulder around the neck. It's dangerous. No, it's dangerous. Okay, thanks.
I think it's a shocking challenge, and the card absolutely right. You know, I think it was more like a red card. If it wasn't going to be a yellow, I'd rather have been a red than nothing. That's extremely dangerous play. He gets in a low position, bang. He's targeted Laws there. Could have done real damage. No question that was a card.
Now where can Myler get this? He was outside the 22. It wasn't the best angle, to be fair. Laws is made of tough stuff, isn't he?
I'm just thinking in terms of the Pro 12. Resources stretched for the Scarlets, and I think Paulino could easily be cited for that. In fact, I'll be surprised if he's not.
And the Scarlets decide not to contest. So Christian Day engages, and the referee says penalty.
Captain.
Trying to be clever there.
The ball is not transfer. The line out is not over. Okay. You turn around and you make a tackle. It's penalty offside. You understand?
Go in the back.
Yeah, because the line out is not over. You can't do that.
Day did well there. Just encouraged, lured the Scarlets in.
The ball is not transfer and you do steps.
And net result is 2 penalties, and Northampton exactly where they were about 5 minutes ago when Hartley threw them towards their 3rd try. The only difference now, apart from the extra 5 minutes gone on the clock, is that Paulino is not there. They've got an extra man. They have got their tails up. Northampton are getting very close to that all-important 4th try.
Hartley throws and accurately to Laws. And now, can the pack do the business here?
No, stay. That's fine.
To take Northampton to the bonus point. Dickinson has it at the base. He's just scored. Has he got another? No.
It looked inevitable, didn't it? Steamrolled by Northampton's drive.
Tom Price has done really well there in combination with DTH van der Merwe.
Canadian international's done brilliantly. But is it a matter of time? Is it a matter of time, this 4th try? 7.5 minutes to go. Northampton camped on the line now.
You hear the shouts there of Northampton players. This is the moment they say. And given the time on the clock, they may well get a few more moments. DTH van der Merwe's come into the pack. There he is, right at the base. Referee plays advantage. Another penalty. You can see this ultimately ending underneath the post.
After going to the touchline, I think first, Dorian West looks on. If he can make contact with Dylan Hartley, I think the two of them will be on exactly the same wavelength. They know what they want. The old hooker and the new hooker. Will he be the next England captain? In position again. Held up by the Canadian left wing last time. Can they stop him again?
Contest this time, so close to their line. The Scarlets. Old man Phil John trying to work his hardest, but he's gone aerial now. And Dylan Hartley, the captain, breaks away, supported by Kessel. Touchline perilously close there, but Northampton get the numbers across to keep their scrum half in. It's really good work from the Scarlets. They're giving everything down to 14 here. Northampton form once more with Dickinson.
No, Red, no!
Threateningly, Laws arrives, but leaves it to Tom Wood. They want to use the forwards from that distance if they can. but it doesn't come back. And referee goes there to the applause of the home supporters. Says to the Scarlets, you could have a penalty there. And that was brave defence, it really was.
Well, there was an air of inevitability about that, but Scarlets have done brilliantly. 5 straight defeats. 5 straight defeats, but that was really proud defensive play in front of their home crowd.
You feel better?
We know when I mentioned that Racing might leave with nothing from Kilmarnock tonight. Well, that is certainly looking more than possible now. Stuart Hogg goes in for the try. Kick was successful, the conversion. It's 13-0 to the Warriors. Owens throws, finds Shingler.
Backwards.
Nearly halfway through the sin bin.
Yeah.
But there's an offside.
You lose the ball.
Put into the scrum for Northampton.
You're making contact with the player offside.
So it's looking like at the moment an English 1-2 in terms of seedings. With Racing 92, stuck on 22 points, it would leave Leicester needing absolutely nothing for second place.
And you make contact with the player in front of you. It's accidental offside. Yeah.
Well, they could overhaul Saracens, but it would need a very big win at Stade Francais tomorrow lunchtime.
I need a good
it's, as you say, it's more than likely that stays the same, or there's that more than 7-point difference for Glasgow against Racing tomorrow. It's looking like tonight. It's looking like tomorrow evening we will have Saracens #1 seeds and Leicester #2 seeds.
I got Leicester 38 points behind Saracens on points difference. That would be one hell of a win.
It would. Yeah, Saracens are +147 after their efforts in Toulouse today, winning by 28 points to 17. Leicester will start tomorrow with a points difference of +109. And that is the first criteria for comparisons between different pools.
Set.
Points differences were to level, it goes to tries, but
It's here, the ball is here.
It's very unlikely for that to happen. Replacement for the Scarlets, Rodri Jones, is on for Samson Lee, rumoured to be or linked with a move to the Ospreys. Rodri Jones.
Blackall is legal. Play on.
Kessel and Myler combine again. Been a good combination. That's PC off to Malander. Malander, is that drifted forward to George North? Is he the man with a bonus point try? Referee's given it. Crowd don't like it. Not because North has scored, their former hero, but because they feel that might well have been a forward pass out to the Northampton winger.
George North, big smile there, not a score in Europe, and if that is to be his first try this season, then he's going to feel there's a great big gorilla off his back there. Just a run in there. Again, Malander heavily involved in the score. Good offload there from PC. Again, it's a nicely timed pass from Malander. I don't think it's forward off the right hand. PC, the half break is really good, and Malander's got a beautiful line alongside his centre, and that pass makes sure that George North does not have to check in his stride, and because of that, he's into the corner.
Well, Myler didn't get the conversion, but he also didn't hang around. He didn't want the referee to see the replay on the big screen. He might have well have asked.
There was nothing obvious
smiles out there, but I know it was a tight call if it was forward. It might have been forward. And on that basis, the television match official might have just suggested to the referee that it was worth having a look at. But out there, Pascal Gauzet was pretty adamant, and Northampton will leave West Wales with their shopping basket full.
Wait.
4 tries, bonus point secure, and it was George North who breaks his duck in the Champions Cup this season after all those tries last season. So the only way that Northampton will not be leaving here with maximum points if the Scarlets can conjure up a magnificent recovery. Alan Davis has come on at scrum half. There he is, into the Wales squad for the Six Nations.
Is the tackle release? Black.
Through goes Paul Hill.
Two, stay.
But they kept him at bay. Regan King offloading, Collins up from fullback. DTH van der Merwe. From John to Ken Owens. Alan Thomas. Simbin nearly done, but it's too late. As far as the Scarlets are concerned, if one of their aims tonight was to stop Northampton getting the 4 tries. Just need to think about themselves here, though. Good offload from Van der Merwe to Collins. Collins tries to go outside Foden, gets the ball inside. And Van der Merwe couldn't take it cleanly, and Tom Wood has got it for Northampton. Back for the first knock-on.
Touch of class there from the Canadian. Van der Merwe comes off his left wing, into 2, tackled, created space. Beautiful play.
So just to look at that top 8 again, of course, from the Ospreys' point of view, they could end up with everything or nothing. If they win tomorrow with a bonus point, they will overtake Watt and get a home quarter-final. They'll just be thinking about topping the pool at the moment, though. Northampton with the 19 points, so much better than 18, which is where Ulster are at the moment, and very reliant on things going their way now tomorrow.
Let's just look at the 4th try. PC through the tackle, half break, lovely offload, and look how Mallinder has read the situation. He's picked him up, he's had a look once, he's not going to delay the pass, he's waiting, and keep your eye on George North. He does not break stride. North just sprints onto that ball. If he doesn't, Tom Williams is onto him. That's beautifully combined by the centres.
Well, Scarlets fans will say it doesn't have to break stride because it goes forward.
Well, let's have a look again. It may just be, but Pascal goes there. It's in a great situation.
Well, he's not quite in line, is he? I think it is forward.
It's a history of rugby where there have been some beautiful tries, where have been those decisions made. You have to go with the officials on these things. You have no option. You're an anarchist.
Absolutely.
You're an anarchist, man.
I don't have to go with anybody. I'm not playing the game. Goes the head. There's Regan King. But you also have to report it accurately. It was a forward pass. Penalty to Northampton.
Miles, that's subjective. We don't know that. That's your view. Referee didn't think it was a forward pass, so are you right and is the referee wrong? Is this what we're saying?
Well, the evidence of the replay, yes.
Okay, that's fair enough. The production team are trying to create trouble in the commentary box now. Is this a forward pass? Looks as if it could be, but it's marginal.
So you seem to be just retracting your position a little bit, but anyway, it doesn't matter in the great scheme of things.
My position, Miles, was that
if Northampton get another.
Subjective view. I didn't know whether it was or wasn't.
Who is captain now? 2? Black 2?
Change here is Steph Hughes coming on. We're hearing of another try in Glasgow.
Captain? Your captain.
And it's Gomez going over for Racing 92. So that pulls them back into things a little bit. 16-5, kick didn't go over. Dylan Hartley leaves us, his work done. Mikey Haywood comes on.
Decent job from Dylan Hartley, I think. I suspect that on Monday he will be named as the England captain, with Jamie George probably a very useful impact sub. Coming on about the stage that Mikey Hayward's come on tonight against Scotland in 2 weeks.
Nas! 20 red.
That's Ethan Waller who's come on for Northampton in their front row. Lee Dixon as well. Very useful to bring this man on. Just the club skipper, but international experience. Tom Kessel went well again. Can't photo Ali out at the moment with that hamstring problem he got on New Year's Day against Exeter.
Thank you.
Aaron Shingler.
Stay.
Up from Anna Davis. There's Ben Foden. Fisher's gone well, introduced into the game a lot earlier than you would have thought. He injured Jamie Gibson. But that run leads to nothing in the end.
Wait.
Talked a lot about England and Eddie Jones. I wonder what Warren Gatland is thinking at the moment. Samson Lee Hadenauer still doesn't seem to have the power that he had last season. And of course, I think Gatland and company will be very interested in the events in Devon tomorrow, where so many of the key Welsh players will be on display. Alan Wynne-Jones, Tipperick again playing brilliantly, coming off the bench. A lot of key players there. And there'll be Welshmen and Englishmen keen to see young Sam Underhill.
Scarlets trying to get something out of this match. Now back to their full complement at least. At the maul. Paulino back on. And they've got a penalty coming.
4. Swimming on the side.
Against Courtney Laws. Ironic.
Swimming on the side.
Well, Northampton very good scoring tries from this situation. Now they have to defend against it as 2 fresh forward replacements come on.
Gareth Denman, Michael Patterson. Front row, second row. Come charging on, looking fresh. Off goes Paul Hill. Another good contribution from him. All those years ago, England went with a very young Jason Leonard, said, we're going to back you. You're going to be our man. Paul Hill could be getting himself into exactly the same position at the age of 20.
You lost the ball, Red.
To mention those under-20 internationals again, anybody who's watched those in recent times will know just how impressive Hill has been at that level, and he's stepped up and he's more than holding his own with the big boys.
I think the likelihood is that Dan Cole will be playing at Murrayfield, but he could easily be on the bench.
Scarlett's turn to mix things up in the front row. Kirby Myhill and Dylan Evans come on. I have to say it's going to be much simpler at the end of this game, not least stop you and me arguing away all the way home.
No argument.
But if Northampton were to get another score, then that 4th try and the question mark that surrounded it will be diluted somewhat. But Scarlets won't be seeing it like that. They have to finish at home with pride, especially in view of what happened last week. But also in view of what's happened in this pool. They are facing, played 6, lost 6. It's happened twice before in their history, 07-08 and 2012-2013 season. And that's back into Northampton hands.
First no call is red, eh?
And Luther Burrell now on as well. Dixon Myler reunited, and Myler finds touch.
Ball back into the 22. There's a definite sense now that Northampton, job done, 4 tries scored, will just calm down. Foot off the gas as substitutions come on.
Who is captain now?
Substitutions guys on. Comes with 19 Lewis Royals, and this is number 6, Alan Sugar.
Yeah, taken back in the 22. Myler very rarely makes a mistake like that.
Where is the mark? Here? Here? Thank you. Stay on the mark, please. What's here? Yeah.
That might be the reason.
Stay. Thanks, sorry.
Good player, Alan Davies, in the Welsh squad himself. Not as quick as Gareth Davies, but a lovely brain.
And where's he put that? It's certainly in space, but it was always favourite to be covered by a Northampton man. It's Lee Dixon who gets there, and Myler, this will test out the thigh.
Player is outside.
And Morgan Allen tries for another big carry.
No, no, no. Let go. Stop.
Little tickle there from Mikey Haywood.
Stop.
Not the best pass from Alan Thomas, picked up well by Steph Hughes.
Yeah.
Foden.
Move. Stop.
Here you go with the Scarlets down that touchline. Inside was Williams from Allen's run. There's Kirby Myhill. Making Northampton think now. Can they test the defence a little bit? Dylan Evans. Northampton don't have a great points difference. Won't be unduly worried by the size of the victory. It was all about getting that 4th try, and they've already secured that. Shingler, and then Paulino, back it comes. There's Regan King to Lewis Rawlings. Big Lewis Rawlings can't do much with that. Northampton have it again with Dixon.
Nice to see the Scarlets counter-attack flourishing down the far side of the field. But then what happens, they're getting the 22, and the quality of their passing not good enough. Like the way they bring the ball back from where the kickers come, it exposes Northampton to a 3-on-2, and that is done really well. That was super play, probably the best attacking play we've seen from the Scarlets. But then, when they get the phase ball back, if you watch the quality of the passing, it's just too slow and it's too inaccurate. Burrell coming in with the tackle. Paulino, the thumper, might just have been thumped.
I wonder who did it. Courtney Laws.
Oh well, yeah, that is retribution from Laws, and you know, I think he's likely to get a yellow card for that.
Well, he's not using the arms in the tackle, is he? Bang, shoulder in. Crowd don't like it. Referee, are you looking at the screen? Yes, he is. Calling over Courtney Laws now.
Not the same degree of menace, but
you have to use your arm to make a tackle. It's just a penalty here on a fight against you, okay?
Just a penalty.
I'd rather hope Pascal Gozer is staying somewhere east of Swansea, because the crowd are not very happy. I think it was the degree of intent
use
there.
one arm, just another.
Paulino's hit was an altogether nastier proposition. That was a little bit of vengeance.
Referee word is final anyway, so
correct.
Well, let's not go there.
The most ambitious kick there from Stephen Shingler. He's only made about 10 metres. Courtney Laws walking towards a cacophony of boos. Well, a whisper of boos, maybe.
Move! Hooker!
Christian Bay's hand, an important one at the line out. And Myler to Thomas.
Fair contest, that's good. Red form, black release.
Shingler stepping in at scrum half. Here's Josh Lewis, who's come on. He's back from an injury, knee last season reconstructed.
Backwards.
Down goes Tom Price. Alan Davis. Well, this might be interesting to run onto, and it is for Lewis. Nearly got away from his man. There's a flag up. His legs are out, pointed out to the officials by Lee Dixon. Just nearly away there, the Scarlets.
Slight physical falling off from the Saints, and suddenly the Scarlets looking good. Here's Christian Day, who's had a very profitable day in the line-out. He's won the Saints most line-outs with 5, and he's nicked a steal, as you can see there, and he's played really well. It must have been hard for him. Victor Matfield coming on a 6-month contract, but Day's come back in now. Hopefully he's learned from one of the great second rows of modern times, and he's playing really well as Stephen Myler goes. He's holding the quad, isn't he?
Yeah, it's been uncomfortable for a few minutes now, so entirely the right call. On comes JJ Hanrahan. Signed a 3-year deal when he left Munster. Just to remind you that Northampton have that position at the moment, could change tomorrow. Stade Francais against Leicester, and all that can happen in the pool that features Sprays and Clermont Auvergne.
That's fine.
And Exeter could have a massive say in that. Very rarely beaten at home. Ospreys, Steve Tandy describing it as the biggest challenge in the pool, bar none, to go to Sandy Park, especially now with so much riding on it.
Yeah.
And you know, even though Exeter are all but out, the way they play, they really do take a game to any team that comes there, and they won't want to be losing a home game, that's for sure.
Could be quite open, you feel, that game, given decent weather.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's not pouring with rain, Exeter will want to play at pace, and that'll make it a very interesting game. Ospreys could lose and get a bucket full of tries.
They could win and get 5 points, 5 match points, and get a home quarter final.
Yeah.
All Northampton will be able to do is watch nervously. But they've done their bit tonight. There's Thomas and Williams. And the mark from Jamie Elliott.
21.
Tom Collins, by the way, was quite a nasty injury. If you're watching last week's game, well, he's just going through the protocols. He's okay. He's had a decent week, but obviously not fit enough or ready enough for this tonight. That's why Jamie Elliott came into the side. Harry Mallender getting his starting place on the back of what he did last week. And he's taken it, hasn't he?
That's a very good player.
You're here.
Strong, confident, good lines. As Alex King said to Graham at half-time, he's got spatial awareness as well. He looks a good young rugby player.
Where's that bobbling to? Hanrahan coming in, but it's Steph Hughes. He's tackled by Courtney Laws, who's still putting himself about. Elliott lets it drop. Well, they've been getting on with things in Kilmarnock because they kicked off at the same time as us, but that game has now finished. And Glasgow have won it by 22 points to 5, so that's a pretty impressive win against a Racing 92 side that have gone really well in this season's competition, so much so that they were already guaranteed a home quarter-final at the start of today, but maybe that is part of the explanation as well.
Yeah, I think very much a case of job done from the French, but it's still a good performance from Glasgow, and they needed it because it's been a up and down season so far for Townsend's team.
So Racing will stay on 92. We know now that Leicester Tigers will be second seeds with 23 points. We don't entirely, because they could still be first seeds, but that is an unlikely scenario. Saracens out on 28. Here is Courtney Lawes. George North fell rather awkwardly there, and he's still down. We'll come back to that, because Lewis is trying to dribble on here. Ben Foden dives. Josh Lewis takes and tries to make it to the border. Hanrahan got him down, but the Scarlets nearly there. Held up again. Well, North has got himself back into a defensive position, but he was hurt and he's gone back down on his knees again.
I think Josh Lewis there was the man who stopped Malinder's kick going through, and it gave the Scarlets their best chance of a try.
The offside, it's a cynical. Infringement is a yellow card for you.
It's Northampton finishing the game with a man in the sin bin, and it's the club skipper, Lee Dixon.
Sometimes you've got to take 10 minutes, and the feeling was the cynicism of that offence, because it was so close to the line, earned a yellow card. He knew what he was doing.
No.
North trying to stay out there. His try has made the bonus point. That's where he got injured. It was a rather awkward position that he got into.
And that was young Harry Malinder making probably his second error of the game. Foden chasing it down there with Josh Lewis. A good defensive play here from Ben Foden, just to make sure they can't get that score down, the Scarlets.
He's always been a terrific scrambler, Foden, hasn't he? Very brave with it. And he does it again. But it's the Scarlets finishing, the stronger of the two sides here.
So they earned a try here, deserved one.
Ollie Davis feeds. Here's Rodri Jones. Davis again. Kirby Myhill. Stephen Shingler. Alan Davis. There goes Regan King. Looking for one of those wonder passes, but even for King, it was too tight there. Well, the home supporters will be pleased with their injury-stretched side, giving everything here to the last minute of the match. Not folded, but they love a try, they really would. Just to take to Connacht next week in the Pro 12. And the Scarlets are still very well placed. 1 point clear at the top. There's an interception maybe for Northampton, how the game started with Malinder. And Burrell, the man who was keeping out of the side, almost getting away.
Okay, let's go to Heineken, man of the match. As you'd expect, the Northampton pack have gone well. I think Courtney Lawes' best form this season. Alongside him, Christian Day has been absolutely excellent. But the area where Northampton have struggled so much has been their distribution, their decision-making behind the scrum. And that young man, Harry Malinder's come in, he's passed well, he's scored a try, he's kicked really well. He's made the game look simple and uncomplicated, and that's the mark of a good player. He's got a big future, for the present, he is today's Heineken Man of the Match, Harry Mallender.
2 Man of the Matches in a row. He got Man of the Match last week for that finish right at the end, the golden moment Man of the Match award. Well, this week he was given the chance to start, and he didn't waste it. Stuart.
Gareth Davies is quick, and he gets away from him there, and that's really interesting. And then his alignment off George Peace's half break is superb. The timing of the pass is exquisite, and the rest of his passing has been really good. Northampton's distribution game has been horrible most of this season. With him at 12, it has been markedly improved. I would be very surprised if Luther Burrell got his place back anytime soon.
No, stay up, stay up. It's a good club.
Alan Davis to Steph Hughes.
You lost, Brock.
Would be a crazy scramble now for Northampton if they needed that 4th try. Whether it was forward or not, that pass from Mallender to North, it is in the book, on the board. And for other teams in the competition, it will be very much viewed as a controversial moment, maybe, if that point makes the difference. Here comes Alan Thomas to try and make a little bit of difference here for the Scarlets right at the end on their patch.
Fabulous tackle, Burrell, and brilliant positional play, Foden, but the Scarlets so close now.
There's Dylan Evans arriving to give to Paulino. The referee takes a long, hard look, trying to see it through the rain. And Northampton hold out. Coming back for a penalty, though. Referee needs windscreen wipers out there.
Because he knows the ball forward. And back to the penalty because offside here. Offside, close to the ruck. One scrum?
Call for the scrum.
Well, in terms of pride, perseverance, they've certainly not given up. But, you know, this squad looks very stretched at the moment. The quality of opposition is starting to hurt them, and it's not going to be easy in Connacht. Great tackle there from Luther Burrell, and brilliant defensive play from Foden. And that's an aspect of Northampton's play that's impressed me since they've had this game won. With their ball, I think they've just eased off a bit, but defensively, they've stayed at 100%.
Ethan Wallow also involved in that tackle, got himself in a really good position, the prop, to have a positive effect for his side there.
Keep the same way, it was good. Same.
Dorian West and Alex King have joined Jim Mallender pitch side, left their places in the stand, getting ready to warmly welcome their players off the field. Have done their job tonight. 2 tries in the first half, 2 tries in the second. Snatched the win right at the end against Glasgow. They do get out of this pool. Northampton have negotiated it very well in the last 2 rounds. They know all about the perils of away quarter-finals, though. Last season, dismantled by Clermont-Auvergne. It's going to be tough should they get into the last 8, but you've got to be in it to win it.
You just think 8 tries in 5 games going into this match in Europe, but none in their 2 games against Racing 92. When Northampton meet the big packs, they have struggled, and that's why I think that kid there, Harry Mallender, is probably going to stay in if they do make a quarter-final, because they've got to find more than a pack. It's good in England, it's not good enough at the highest levels, I don't think. They need more width and variety to their game.
Of course, they could end up in an all-English affair, which might suit them even more than any other sort of quarter-final. You're not going to complain if you get through the last 8 of this competition. First and foremost, that is the aim. But it's always tough away. History shows that. 3-1, I think, is the ratio we trot out every year. The Scarlets, well, they're trying to show that they can make a bit of history this season, not in Europe, but in their domestic competition. And to take to Connacht, a try here, it's on the line. Referee needs to have a close look at that one.
Did Rodri Jones get there initially? I thought he did.
Well, he's certainly showing the referee he doesn't have to anymore. Pascal Gauzer got across eventually to see it.
Try, yes or no?
There goes the prop forward, driving on.
Picture.
Rodri Jones, does he get that down? Rolls off a hand and onto the floor. Question straight, yes or no. Everybody's putting it down. That is a team try.
Aled Davis's left hand here just tries to surge and make sure. There.
In doing so, he sort of drags it back from the line and then has to push it back. Certainly ends up on the line. But I think initially, you're right, it did go down on the line. Then it left the line and went back on it.
Pascal, oui. Yes, oui.
That's all angle, or do you have another angle?
Pascal is...
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Only the angle, yes. Yeah. So I have a decision. For me, it's a try. For me, it's a try. The ball is
I think just as well for the referee as well, because the crowd.
With the odd angle, you see the player in goal, and you see clearly the grounding by the Reds. I make a water try. Are you happy with that? Are you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, yes. It's a try.
He's got a long way to trot again.
Yes,
Scarlets fans at last are going to give the referee a cheer.
Try.
Well, it's something to take to Galway for a very important game next week. It's not that much. I think you have to put into context how effective the Scarlets are with injuries. They've kept playing all day. You could say that for them. They played with pride. But Northampton's pack always a little bit stronger. And with Mallinder adding a little extra in the midfield, it was always a comfortable victory for Northampton. They've got the 4 tries, they've got the 5 points. Now it's up to other teams tomorrow. They've done all that they can do.
Aled Davis has been officially given the try. He made sure that it was, might well have been scored before that by Rodri Jones. Maybe they should share it. The points haven't been shared though, and Northampton have won the match, and they have got the bonus point, helped along the way by that young man, Harry Mallinder, whose try early on settled any nerves at that stage for the Saints. Mallinder and PC in the first half, Dickinson and North in the second, although there'll be those who will think, and certainly Scarlets fans who will think,